So Heavy Metal Therapy is a peer support resource. So it's by people in the heavy metal music community, for people in the heavy metal music community, and we're all about the benefits for well-being and mental health of engagement with extreme or heavy metal music. Um, so when I say peer support, it tends to be people who have lived experience of, say, mental health challenges, um, talking with us or engaging with us about their experiences and the ways that metal music has helped them. We sort of have a range of ways that we do that with people. So online, we have a lot of resources, recovery stories, things like playlists. They're co-produced, which means that we make them together with people who've experienced whatever challenge it is that we're looking at. Um, and yeah, we have sort of like video stuff, and we're also kind of really linked into social media. So essentially it's kind of a collection of peer support resources in a variety of different formats, linked in with social media. And we also kind of do some in-person stuff as well. So we go to events, mainly in the UK. We also have peer support groups, which is where people can kind of physically meet up to chat about mental health and well-being. So it's a lot of different things, but I suppose you could summarise it and say it's all about peer support for the metal community. I think this has been a point of confusion maybe over time. So we'd use the term therapy in the same way that people might talk about, something like retail therapy, so something that has a therapeutic benefit. So it's not therapy as in sitting in a room with somebody, like talking to a counsellor or whatever. We don't offer that sort of therapy. It's very much about peer support. So think of it in terms of the therapeutic benefits of music, rather than saying you're sitting with, I don't know, a metal person and talking to them on a one-to-one basis. It's not therapy like that. It's more about therapeutics. To be honest, we sometimes thought, should we have called it something else? But the name's kind of stuck. But it is something that we clarify. We're not a therapy service. We're not a mental health service. We're peer support. You can access most things on the website, which is heavymetaltherapy.co.uk, and a lot of stuff is online. Almost everything that we do is kind of free to access or download. So we've got quite a large bank of recovery stories. So they're basically accounts by people who have faced mental health challenges, who are talking about their experiences with extreme music. Some of those are sort of like prose, so written down, some pictures, some art stuff. Some of it is like on a video interview format or a vlog or whatever you'd say. We've also got stuff about stories related to like tattoos, battle jackets, poetry. So lots and lots of different formats for recovery stories. We have a podcast / radio show that is another way of people talking about their experiences, and also they play some music on that. And it's kind of based around a bit of a blog site, so people submit blogs to us, which could be about anything to do with metal music and mental health, but that's not necessarily just about recovery stories. So, for example, we had somebody talking about they do heavy metal yoga classes. Another person who's like a classical musician talked about the links between extreme music and classical music. So there's blogs and recovery stories. We also co-produce playlists together. We have playlists on kind of most of the major sort of streaming platforms, and they cover like a really massive range of emotional experiences. I could say every imaginable emotional experience, but I know as soon as I say that, there'll be one that isn't covered. And we do sort of build new ones on request as well. So if someone says, we really think you need a playlist on whatever, we will potentially build one, and they're co-produced with the community members, usually on social media. So there's the playlist. We've also got some downloadable resources. So Somewhere I Belong, which is about gigs and inclusivity. So some of the challenges of live music events for people with mental health issues, or people who are neurodiverse, for example. So that's free to download. And then A Place for My Head, which is more like a sort of worksheet format, so like kind of in a page, experiences of different kinds of challenges. So for example, with the anxiety one, somebody experiences that, They will have talked about, what it's like, what music has helped them, what resources they use. And we've got about, I think, sort of between 10 and 15 topics there. We're always kind of adding more. And then we've got a section called the Metal University, which is about nerd stuff, really. So it's to do with the research on heavy metal and mental health. So we've got some hopefully quite accessible summaries of what the research says. We do bits of our own research as well, so you can find all of that on there on the website. So it's a website linked in with social media. We've got low mood, grief, trauma. I think there's this interesting thing about, we've got some that are more about turning towards feelings, some that might be more about distraction or turning away. So like we've got a couple of like like confidence or feeling like a badass kind of thing, and then a few that are more about like turning towards things like grief, dissociation, hearing voices. So absolutely loads. And then we've got a couple of sort of genre specific ones as well, or ones that we've done for particular events. Like we did a women in metal playlist for International Women's Day once. We've done like Halloween playlists, all kinds of different things, and covering a range of genres as well, from quite specific things. We've got a grindcore playlist, for example, Christian metal, loads and loads of different ones. If somebody wants to build one as well, we always invite new suggestions. The best way would be to drop us a message, really. So you can do that on the contact form on the website, or via social media if you drop us a direct message. So there's lots of different ways that people can get involved. It might be that they've got something that they want to submit, so a blog or a story. So that would be about sharing their personal experience. It may be that on socials you could get involved, and we've got some interactive groups, like the Mental Health Mosh Pit. That tends to be where people share memes and things like that. So people can get involved in social media, like helping with building playlists. You can also contact us about if you want to do some volunteering, for example. So we do in-person events, mainly at metal events or at kind of health and wellbeing events. We run peer support groups now, physical peer support groups. So if people are interested in facilitating that, or they've got a venue, or or run a rock bar and you think they might want a poster, any of that kind of stuff, or your college, or whatever, then if you drop us a message, we can send some stuff out to you, and let you know more information about how you can volunteer if you want to do that.